Good morning, folks. It's 6 o'clock in the morning. Been out a little bit earlier than that, but yeah, it's just gone 6. I thought I'd just do a little video. I did want to go live, but it just won't work. Well, not today anyway. Because once with lives, if I do them, I just put them out. It's job done. I don't need to edit them or anything. What I want to talk today about is mindset, because mind is everything. You hear the birds singing. Yeah, mindset's everything. When you work for yourself, you never work. You've never worked as hard, ever. When there's no plan B, when there's no survival net, when do or die, mindset's everything. That's what the renegade mindset is. That's what the martial way is. The warrior. You lead from the front so you can protect those behind you. When you're the CEO and you're the head of your company, every decision you make has an effect. Couple of days I'll be 53. And you're at that stage where you can reflect on life. But you also have to remember, it ain't over till it's over. And through your journey, you've gone through many different stages and been many different people. And now you're able to look at your life as a CV and what you've learnt as skill sets. Well, with me, I've been changing all my life, everything I've done, I've learnt skills. Not being able to learn to read till I was 29, so all them time I was working with my hands, thinking outside the box, and I never want to change it because it made me who I am. And now, I read 2 books a month. I've just bought another 5 books off eBay. 5 proper books. Cost me £13.63 delivered. Yeah, so I've got like a month and a half's worth of reading of people who know what they're talking about. So it's just read, learn, do, read, learn, do. Same with listening to podcasts. I listen to the School of Hard Knocks. The young lads are 23 and they're doing £1 million a month. Yeah. But look who they go and talk to. And if you listen to them, the people that they speak to, most of them came from nothing. A lot of them didn't have no education. They had an idea and they believed in it. And they were able to build a team around them. Some of them, they did it on their own, but most of them had a team. And that's what it's all about. Now, because I've been in the fitness industry, 27 years, the health, performance and whatnot, there's not very much unity. Because everybody's self-employed, he's personal trainers and it's a dog-eat-dog world to get clients. Same as in the sales, it's a shark tank there on the floor, on the gym floor, whatever. Everybody's fighting for crumbs. But there's a few out there that made it well. Just look at Joe Wicks. I was listening to a couple of his older interviews there, because I knew of him, but I didn't know his backstory, and everybody thinks, oh, he blew up in 2020. But when you listen to his backstory, you know, he did his dues. You know, he went and got his sports science degree. You know, he started doing the boot camps at the very beginning. You know, one person turning up, two people turning up, doing his time, built up a bit of a following, then did his things, going around schools, up and down the country, PE teacher style, and then just being in the right place at the right time, with the right meaning, the right passion, he was able to, he blew up. And that very first live he did, there was something like 800,000 people watching him on his very first live. Yeah. But one thing you'll notice with people, if you actually listen, and if you're even watching this, you know, if you're watching this, listen to what I say. Listen to what other people say about other people. Listen to what other people say about people that they don't even know, that they're in no position to make a statement about. And then ask yourself, do you do the same? Do you do the same? I get judged all the time. I've always been judged. I'm even judged now. That's why I say I'm like Marmite. You either love me or you hate me. And people can't find it very hard to be around me because I am this person 24/7. There is no plan B for me. There is no safety net. So from the moment I wake up to the moment I go to sleep, I'm on this path. I'm studying, I'm doing, I'm mentoring, I'm training, you know. I've been busy the last few days because I've got stuff that I have to get done. And just last week my main ProArt studio laptop died. The SSDs died on it after 3 years, virtually to the day. So that was my main working machine offline. And then the following day, the internet went off for 4 days. There's always something, there's always going to be a bump in the road. And they're just tests to see how much you want it. So now, today and tomorrow, the parts will turn up and it will take me a day and a half to get the machine back up to where it was. But I still have my daily tasks that I have to do. And that's what it's like when you're a CEO of yourself. When times are tough, times are hard, yeah? They're testing you to see how much you want it. Do you want it? And are you 3 feet away from gold? I've been reading Think and Grow Rich, and I'm on my second time now because they say that you should read it 3 times, front to back, straight away, so that you start to understand what it says in the pages and you can remember the pages clearly. And 3 feet from gold is a story of somebody who stopped and gave up 3 feet from gold. Then somebody come along who had a little bit more knowledge, stepped aside 3 feet, boom, and found the new gold seam. And that's what it is, that little bit of knowledge. That little bit that just breaks you through. But knowledge is nothing without action. But I've just finished reading The 80-20 Manager. And that's based on the 80-20 principle, that 80% of your returns come from 20% of your action. And how you can waste so much time and energy doing the stuff that you don't need to do, really. And being able to recognise what brings the most return of your time and your investment. Because that's another one. Talking about money. What is the profit ratio to every pound you put in to every pound you get out? Some ideas, you can put very little in and get a high return. Some ideas, you put a very lot of financial into it and get very little return, percentage-wise. Just what he says in Rich Dad, Poor Dad. This. And that's why I read, because I'm reading these books of people who have been there and done it and can talk about it, can explain it, because nobody around me is like that. When I was in Portugal and I was surrounded by those millionaires, I was speaking to them. I realised that they're no different. They're no different. And most of them weren't even happy. A lot of them weren't even happy with all that they had and the opportunities and choices they could make. They weren't happy. A lot of them weren't even healthy. And then on my bike travels, when I was just living on the bike, cycling in one direction, heading east or heading south, no planned route, just knowing that when I hit the sea, I'd turn and change direction. I met people who had nothing and they were happy. So this is what I talk about, what I mean, or when I talk about what your life brings you, When I lived in Holland when I was 25, couldn't read. When somebody said to me, aren't you scared that you can't read Dutch or whatever? I just said, well, I can't read English, so it doesn't matter, does it? And while I was out there, I got picked up by Alistair Cook from the BBC, who was filming a documentary for Modern Times. And he came across me, and they filmed me. I never got put in the documentary because I never got to finish my journey there, because my ideas were just too far ahead of the time, because the ideas I had did come true later on, a few years later when the technology caught up, but at the time what I wanted to do was a lot harder. Same with now, you just look at AI now. What I can do now and what I've been doing this last month, you couldn't do that 3 months ago. You couldn't do it, it was impossible. But now I can do it every day with the littlest abilities. Just look at what we're filming now. Here I am filming on a phone. I can shoot 8K now. I could stream it live all around the world if I wanted. Just think what that would have cost years ago. So it ain't that your idea can be wrong. I mean, not all ideas have any financial value or any value or return to the world, but ideas are the most valuable thing in the world. Your mind is the most powerful thing in the world, and that's why you should always invest in it. And that's what I teach, that's what I do, that's what I live. I invest in my own mind, I use my own mind, and I help others to use their own mind. But I tell you, you must understand that people are going to judge you, what you do, whether you're right or you're wrong, whether you're good or if you're bad. You know, if you're rich or you're poor, people are going to judge you. When I was in London there, just 4 weeks ago today, talking with those millionaires and that, and other individuals who were in a position of power, and I listened to their negativity, of their control, of their gatekeeper mentality. Yeah? And I stood next to them and I talked to them. And I thought, afterwards, when I was able to reflect on the conversation, and I'm a crazy person, I always tell people, you know, I'm sorry if I'm coming across crazy, because you try explaining your reason and your why, your mission, when there is no plan B, when it's pure passion, drive, commitment and dedication. Yeah. And when you speak, because it has that raw energy in it, and you're trying to explain something that's taken you years or decades to come to understanding, you try and explain it in maybe in a minute or half an hour, You can't do it. But I tell you this, and I explained this to my mum the other day. I'm glad, I'm happy with who I am, because this old dog still bites. I know what I do. I know what I've done. And I know what I'm doing with the littlest of resources for so long. Yeah. To be able to do what I can do with the littlest of resources. You get judged by how much money you're spending. People look at the clothes you wear and the cars you drive and the houses you live at. Yeah. They don't look at the people who, or how they were before they became rich. Because before the tipping point, you know, when I'm on here, you always see me just in my rags. You've never seen me in a suit. You've never seen me talking to anybody really as a third person. You've never seen me do what I do with people as I'm doing it. And that's because I haven't had no one to be my cameraman. For a little while when I was in Portugal, I had Steph, my little assistant, for a little while, and she was able to film people that I was working with up on the rocks. And you get to see me where I'm just doing my thing because I'm not focused on the camera, I'm focused on the person I'm working with. And I'm able to tap into their mind. There goes the mic. Where I'm able to tap in to their mind and be me. Because my intention is to help people. It's what I do, it's the Marshall way. The student becomes the teacher and the teacher becomes a student. This is my backyard dojo. From here I don't have to commute. From here I don't have to pay a monthly subscription. From here I'm not distracted by sites and activities. I'm here to focus. Most of the time I don't film nothing. I just train because this is my time to switch off. but I want to make it seamless and easy to just set up the camera, set up the phone, switch on the mic and just record without wanting to edit it or cut it or feel like I've got to entertain people, because I'm not an entertainer, I'm an educator. There's a difference. I have my qualifications, I have my history. You know, it took me 4 years to save up my qualifications when I went back to college in 2010, and I'd been teaching for years, but people looked down their noses at me because I didn't have a piece of paper. So I saved up. I lived in that garage. No hot water, no heating for 8 years, but I lived in that garage. I saved up. I was working on the doors. I was teaching in gyms and also teaching in the garage. And I was saving that money, saving and saving and saving. And then I went and did my qualifications. And I cycled there. My level 2, I did at Henley College, and I cycled there and back. My level 3, I did at Hinckley and Nuneaton, the Hinckley College, and that was 10 miles each way, twice a week. So we did 2 days a week there. So I was doing 40 miles a week just to go to college. And over 6 months, that was 900 miles. And it was right in winter and all. Even when the snow was on the ground, I was never late. And I came top in my class. And I got externally verified. My lecturers even came and trained with me in the garage, because when I passed all my qualifications, I passed them all on the kettlebells and the clubs and the Eastern methods and philosophies of fitness and training and human performance, etc. And I passed on my own grounds, and I also passed on the most advanced model, and that's why I got offered a 4-year degree as a fast track, so do it in 3 years at Loughborough University, and I had to turn it down because I said, look, I live in a garage. The landlord is a coke addict. My dyslexia means that for me to do all my coursework as well as I did, I might have been at college only 2 days a week, but I was spending 7 days on it. Every day I was working on it, and it weren't as easy as it is now with voice recognition. Yes, I had spell check because it was 2010, but it was still a lot harder. And because I wanted it to be right, every dot, every line, every sentence to be right, because I had to do all my own terminologies, because of the methods I was using. I wanted it to be right, because I had this chip on my shoulder, because I've been told I've been stupid all my life because of my dyslexia. You know, nobody believing in me. Even my some of my classes, they were like, they wanted to argue with me because of the methods. But I'd read the biochemistry, I'd understood what I was talking about, and I stuck my ground, and I was right, because they've just changed. And you probably haven't even heard about this. They've just changed the food pyramid. I've just changed the food pyramid because meat and fats is what the human body needs. It needs the fats and the proteins, and how cereals are what give you your obesity, your Alzheimer's type 3 diabetes, because of the insulin responses. Yeah, I was right. But that's how it is. That's how it is. When you lead from the front, you're going to have very few followers, very few early adopters, few people who believe in you. But once you crack it, once you're there, and you get your recognition and you get your rewards, everybody's soon, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Just like Joe Wicks, eh? Everybody said, oh, he just blew up overnight, but they didn't do the story, they didn't see his backstory. Yeah. I hear people, like I say, judging people because of what they've read online, and people who don't like the people, and how negativity sells. Yeah. Again, if you do your homework, you understand why negativity sells, because the survival mechanism within you, the chimp, yeah, knowing something that's not going to kill you is more advantageous than knowing something that's going to be rewarding. And that's what your body's trying to do. That's what all these automatic systems in your body do. They keep you safe, they keep you alive. Yeah, that's the number one priority of your automatic system, is to keep you alive. So negativity sells. That's why the news is the way it is. Newspapers are the way it is. Yeah, and that's why gossip and hatred, yeah, spreads. And that's why the big percentage of the human animal is driven. And those that lead with passion, desire and meaning and ethics and oaths to serve the higher cause and the martial way get knocked. But when it comes to who survives in the real world, when it does get gnarly, survival of the fittest, the strongest, the healthiest, the fastest, the smartest, yeah? And that's what health and fitness is all about. Giving you the tools within the human body to be able to, yeah, run or fight. This is your temple. This is your vessel. Yeah, that's why you train the way you do. I mean, in this video I'm just rambling. I'm not thinking like I'm trying to do. I'm just saying what comes to my mind. And that's why I like to do the live videos, because I can just send it out there. I'm not trying to cut it. I'm not trying to edit it, because I can do it, you know. That's what I do when I do these trailers and the other stuff that I do online, you know. I can cut it and edit with all the tricks, but I just want to be open and honest and speak from my spirit. If people listen to it and watch it and share it and learn it and understand it, then that's great. If people don't, they don't. It's out of my control. Yeah, the algorithm. There's a beast that must be fed. And I choose not to be a part of it. If all them years ago, 2006, I started my YouTube. The first video I posted was 17 or 18 years ago, when the kettlebells, when I was doing them in the garage. If I'd carried on posting, I would have blew up, because there weren't many of us doing it. But because I didn't believe in myself and who I was, because I believed others were better than me. So we're talking Mike Muller, Steve Cotter, Stephen Maxwell, yeah, Pavel, yeah. Because I was seeing them on the YouTube in the States, and here was me, just a guy in a garage. I thought they were better than what they were. And then I realised now, after, well, since I started 1998 and it's now 2026, they were just like me. They were winging it. I mean, yeah, Steve Cotter, rest his soul, phenomenal. But everybody at the time, when I was watching them, they were just a little bit ahead of me. Yeah. And they had the belief in themselves to post it up on YouTube. And I didn't think I was good enough. And that's why, if I had, I'd been somewhere else. But you can't be your what's have, should haves, all that lot. That's history. I only know where I am now. So making these videos is me doing my little bit. You're seeing me just do what I do. Talking the way I talk. I mean, this is probably a long video already, so nobody's probably gonna, well, I shouldn't even say it, you know, very few people would watch the entirety of it, because I've been conditioned with shorts and 60-second blips and sound bites and the dopamine hits. And here I am, just a crazy person talking from his soul. Right, that'll do. I'm going to get on with my training. I've said my bit. I'm just going to upload this now. I'm not going to look at it. I'm not going to listen to it. I'm just going to upload it straight from the phone while I carry on training. So, remember, your mind is the most powerful tool that you have. Your ideas are the most valuable fuel that you can feed it. Self-belief, dedication, determination, desire, faith in yourself, faith in the greater source. Treat your body like a temple. Learn to handle the hunger. Learn to handle the cold. Learn to handle having nothing so that you can gain everything. Because what's inside here and who you are and how you are can't be taken away from you. It's not like a material thing. And you can't buy it. You can't buy this mindset. You have to build it. You have to earn it. And you have to live it. And that's why I say, I live what I teach, and I teach what I live. Yeah? I'll see you on the other side and in the next one. This